Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Inspire Before We Expire podcast show. I am your host, Terrell Sumter. Guys, I'm very grateful, thankful, and graceful to see another day that's never a promise. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start today's show, I just want you all to close your eyes 10 to 15 seconds. And I just want you to, guys, reflect on just your summer. I want you to reflect on the bad and the good. Now I want you to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now it's time to open. I want you to let go of all the fears, all those doubts, everything that's been holding you back from really pushing forward to really becoming the very best you. Guys, I know yesterday had its challenges, had its obstacles, but today has its possibilities, opportunities, and solutions. You may not feel that you're in the best, but at the moment sometimes when you're just outside and you're just walking, you come across the right people that's willing not to give you a hand out, but a hand up and help guide you the way. But sometimes, guys, we have to put our pride to the side and express vulnerability because there's strength in being vulnerable. There's strength in asking questions. There's strength in reaching out. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to hold too much of your time. I have a very, very special guest on the show today. Honestly, I got to connect with this young lady from another friend of ours, amazing individual. And that's what I said, that one conversation can change the communication. This lady right here, she's phenomenal. She's an educated talk therapy therapist with degrees from Boston University and Wilmington University and a certified hypnotherapist. She uses rapid transformational therapy, RTT, created by the top therapist, the one and only Miss Marissa Peer. Trained by Marissa Peer herself, she used RTT as a transformative regression hypotherapy. She hypnotized you and dehypnotized you from the patterns of your past. Dehypnotize you from the superficial standards of society to push past your limited beliefs. Keep going. Where you would normally stop and create the life of your dreams. Guys, this young lady does workshops in the Los Angeles area and also has an upcoming workshop as well, November 9th, we'll also be talking about during this interview. She will be doing a group hypnosis to silence the inner critique and reintroduce the inner empowering, cheerleading, reintegrate, and reframe. Also, October 28th and the 29th, Miss Marissa Peer herself will be speaking and doing live therapy, which this young lady will also be present and a part of. She will be there. Yes, yes, yes. Guys, I want you to get up as I introduce you to my good old friend coming out of Los Angeles, California, Miss Ty Hunter. Ty, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. That was a beautiful introduction. Thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And thank you for being present. Ty, let's just get right to it. Just give us a little background of you, where you grew up at, and just about your journey. That'd be awesome.
Amazing. Absolutely. So personally, hypnotherapy transformed my own life. I grew up in a large family. And as a child, I never felt worthy or good enough. Mainly I was, desperately seeking attention in my large family, but mainly I was desperately seeking it from my mom. And my mother always had a profound sadness to her. Mm. And if anyone's ever been raised with a depressed parent, then they can identify what I'm talking about. If you are raised with a depressed parent, even though it's no fault of her own, and she had such a rough childhood, a lot of abuse, a lot of neglect. As a child, when you can't get in and you feel this helplessness, like, why doesn't she love me? Why isn't she paying attention to me? You start to have that imprint of, it's because I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, and I'm not lovable. And what I didn't understand then is that if you don't feel lovable yourself, you cannot give love. And so, unfortunately, because of that, it kind of ran its course throughout my whole life, where I then took part in toxic relationships. And my ultimate goal was to save her. But again, it was toxic relationships and self-sabotage and substance abuse. And so psychology is my background. And the reason for that is because in my mind, I thought, if I can save her, if I can teach my mom to be happy, if I can just get in, then I will win her love. And she passed away 3 years ago.
Sorry to hear it, Ty.
Thank you for saying that. And I realized that you can't save someone else. You can help and guide and facilitate and show them the way and give them the tools, but I couldn't save her because it's not possible. She had to save herself. And so ultimately I realized I have to save myself. And at the time that she passed, a year later, because of all the numbness and repression and feeling like I just couldn't get in to my mother's heart, I ended up with being in my own hospital bed with a near fatal colon twist. And I almost died as well.
Wow.
And that led me, because of this colon twist and all the health issues that came after that, that was 2016. I ultimately then went on to spiritually seek anything, meditation and love and self-love. I sought it all, because then I realized I have to save myself and fill myself up with love. Therefore, I can provide it to others, especially as a therapist. And that's when I found hypnosis. And hypnosis was the transformation for me in finding my own self-love and now providing that to others.
Wow. Like, I just think that's powerful. And for those that's listening right now, like, I know someone can just really get emotional just by hearing you share that,
Thank you.
especially like, with the passing of your mother. And I know she looking down, smiling on you.
Oh, thank you. That can make me cry.
Yeah, absolutely. And you made an interesting quote. You said, if you do not love yourself, you cannot give love. So I just want you to share, a little bit about that. Like, how can those who may be going through that similar path and not loving themselves, how can we give a little bit more love? How can we like be more nurturing in today's
Mm. So I think I'll always say, if you can have some sort of hypnosis, definitely do that, because I ultimately think that if we can be very conscious of not loving ourselves, but until you get in your subconscious and start to reprogram that conditioning, then you can't ultimately change. You can't have transformation. But if that's not available, we are so mean to ourselves. I mean, the self-talk that people give to themselves on a daily basis, they beat themselves up, just saying horrible things to themselves, as opposed to giving themselves praise and love. And that's so incredibly important, is to transform the way you talk to yourself. So if it helps, talk to yourself as if you're talking to your own best friend. If you were talking to your best friend, you would never, ever say anything mean. You would lift them up. You would boost their spirits. You would be, their cheerleader. And that's really, really, really important, is that you have to give yourself praise. Because if you don't give yourself praise and self-love, no one else will. And until you love yourself, people will only treat you the way that you present yourself. They will rise up when you start to tell yourself you are worth it, that I love myself, that I'm the only one like me on the planet, which is incredible if you really think about it. There's one of you. What are the odds of that? And that love is absolutely your divine right. It is your birthright. It is your divine right. And you are the only person that can love yourself the way that you're supposed to be loved. And then ultimately you can shine that out into the world.
Wow. That's powerful, honestly. So you say you found hypnosis, correct? When you was going through a time where you was at a breaking point.
Correct.
So how did you know that this is the one for me? Like this is exactly what I need. And what was going through your mind at that moment of transformation, and how did you feel going through that process, if that makes sense or so?
Oh, definitely. So for me, being from an academic background and from the family that I'm in, where it's academics is it reigns king. So if you have, you have to have your college degree in my family, and something like hypnotherapy always seemed really woo-woo to me and just weird. I was like, I don't get it. It's not, it's not a major in college. I don't understand it.
Right.
So I always thought of something really weird and what weird people do. And when I saw Marissa is a therapist. She's trained as a therapist just like me.
Okay.
So because of that, I thought, wait a minute, here's a therapist who's been doing it for 30 years, and
Mm.
she's saying that her new regression hypnotherapy is based on therapy. And
Mm.
so with rapid transformational hypnotherapy or rapid transformational therapy, it's basically therapy within hypnotherapy. So
Mm.
we regress you back to your childhood, and then we get to exactly when and where the cause, root, and reason for your limiting belief, and then extract that belief in the subconscious and replace it with a new empowering belief in the subconscious,
Mm.
and that transforms your life. And I thought, if she's doing it
Yeah.
and she's educated and she's got the same kind of background as I do, then this must be something. And
Mm.
I delved more into it, and I sought her out, and I sought out her training, and I went and trained with her personally
Mm.
in sessions, and I knew this was it. This was the missing piece. I knew that that was exactly what I needed and
Mm.
what I could give to others. And it was just incredibly transformative. And especially because I've now had it myself,
Right.
I'm like the walking billboard for RTT hypnotherapy.
Right. And what was that conversation like? Just that first conversation between you and Marissa, just when y'all came across paths.
Yes. I was like, I know that you're the one to teach me. I bow myself to you. I am learning at your feet. Teach me everything you know, and I will provide it to the world. It was like, just let me be in your presence. Allow me to just take in all of this, and then allow me to present your method to the world.
Mm.
And what a gift. She allowed me into her world. I've been to her house and with her husband, and I'm very close to her sister as well, who's also an integral part of the entire movement of RTT therapy.
Right.
So it's been an incredible blessing to be in this world.
That's awesome. A growing experience. And I always believe too, sometimes when we going through so much of a rough path, it doesn't happen overnight, but there's somebody that come along our path to help us really become our best selves and stuff like that. And for this, in this case, you went through so much at a very young age, and you still was like, man, I no longer have this special person that knows me most. I don't know what's next for me now. I'm going through this, and then this young lady comes along, get past Marissa and her family to help guide you that way. As we spoke before we even got into this interview, I think that's even powerful. Now, you say that you hypnotize and dehypnotize people.
Correct.
So, from the patterns of their past. So, for those who may feel stuck, right, and just always and just focused on that past, what are like some steps you would give to them right now at this moment that has helped you transform to be that not only leader, but just this transformational, powerful, vulnerable woman you are today?
That you just said it. That's the real key. Is that starting to change your beliefs and your belief system. So
Right.
if you want to start today, start to question what you're telling yourself on a daily basis. Why do you have these looping thoughts? Who told you in your past that you're not good enough? Was it a teacher, a friend, a parent?
Right.
Somebody told you that you're not good enough and you believed them. And
Yes.
so you have to start to question everything, and you have to start to just take out the judgment of yourself.
Yeah.
When you do something, question why you did it, and instead of beating yourself up, change your pattern. Create new habits, write it down. If you don't like something, change the thought. I always tell people it's all about the reframe.
Mm.
So if you have a thought, a consistent thought, I'm ugly. I hate my face. I hate my body. Start saying consciously, I love my body. I love my face. It's my face. No one else has this face. It feels like a lie at first. I'll tell clients, I'll say, I know it feels unnatural. It feels like a lie. Say it anyway. Anything you say that's negative to yourself, I want you to write it down, and I want you to write the direct opposite of what it is. And then start to say the direct opposite, no matter how foreign or how unfamiliar it feels. Even if it feels like a lie, the more you use repetition, the more it gets in. Repetition is the mother of all learning. You have to repeat things over and over and over again for them to get inside and reprogram your mind.
Mm. That's big. That's big. Honestly, and like I wanted to really, really also share that, I once too was that kid, coming from Philadelphia myself, and being in that environment around just negative people my whole life. It kind of took me time to step away from what I was used to. So, what's some advice you would give to those younger women who just in that environment? Like, I know you said like really speaking positive to themselves, but what are something else that you've learned to practice in today that's a formula that works? Like really taking them there, like, man, I'm not going to tell you just to write this down, but I'm going to tell you to do this too. Like, it has helped you along your way as well to just get out that comfort zone, get away from them people, man, and just go, live your life, and be happy. Because I think that when it's all said and done, we just must like leave something much behind bigger than ourselves. So if you
Mm,
hear that, that'd be powerful.
mm. I love that as well. And I really believe, because sometimes we can't choose our family.
Mm,
Not sometimes, every time. We can't choose our family. And unfortunately, sometimes we're in toxic situations with toxic people, exactly what you're talking about. You grow up with negative people, that's who you grow up with. You can't really do much about that until you're at a certain age that you can get out. And
right.
when you can get out and away from toxic people, do it. Do whatever you have to do to get away from negativity and toxic people, because they just want to take you down.
Yes.
I think that in terms of happiness, progress is everything.
Mm,
So especially when I work with depressed clients, a big aspect is, if you're not progressing in life, you feel unfulfilled and you feel like you're a failure. And if you're doing one thing every day, one small thing every day, even if you have a list, just check one thing off your list, because progress equals happiness.
mm,
And having little challenges for yourself, you'll feel more fulfilled. You'll feel more proud of yourself. And then if you kind of chunk it down and do it in little increments and not overwhelm yourself, you can gradually start to get out of what's familiar, which is negativity, get into unfamiliar, and then the positivity that is unfamiliar will eventually become familiar the more that you do it. The more progress, the more things you check off your list, the more proud of yourself you are, the better you are in life.
mm.
Does
I
that make
love that.
sense?
Yes, yes. A key point as well is, for those that's tuned in, is progress equals happiness. Like you say, marking off those things off the list every day, even if it's small or big wins. I just think that's important. Um, and I just wanted to ask you, like, what's that go to when you're working with your clients? You're maybe sitting in a room with them and you're just hearing their frustration, their anger, you're seeing the tears. What is that go-to that Miss Ty Hunter used, that certain tool that works all the time, that just that specialty. For example, you know how in wrestling with Triple H have the I I used to look at wrestling back in the day, like he had this special, superpower. Like, what is that special tool that you use that works all the time for your clients?
I mean, my special tool is certainly my curated scripts and hypnosis.
Okay.
So the hypnosis is numero uno. It's number one. If you come to me and you're like, I want to have a transformation, I want to do talk therapy, that's great. I can do counseling, I can do coaching, but you have to start with the hypnosis. Until we can get into that subconscious, identify exactly where those limiting beliefs are in the subconscious, then we can't get in and reprogram your conscious mind. So I curate specific scripts that people listen to for 30 days. They say in RTT, the requirement is 21 days. I say 30 days just because it's really ingrained. And they listen to that at night while they're falling asleep. I get them into their subconscious and they reprogram those thoughts, just reprogram the crap out of those negative thoughts. And that is the key, is that reprogramming, that repetition.
Right. Because, some you think of hypnosis, some people think, oh, you just, you want to hypnotize me and now I'm out of it and stuff like that. See, we talking about something completely that's just the basic mind thought.
Right.
What Todd teaches is something different to help you reframe and get other stuff from your past to becoming present and fully within yourself.
Correct.
Honestly, because I think that's what's needed, and because we live in so much of a today's technology society where there's so much just moving, and affected by just social media. So, what do you feel like the biggest challenges that's happening in today's society? That's occurring with people, and things of that nature, and like, what do you feel like you would like to really bring like more different into this like just world full of toxic people and just people that just want to follow versus set the trend?
Well, I think that that's more natural because at the end of the day, people don't want to feel different. They don't want to be lonely. They don't want to be excluded. They want to fit in. And we have this thing where it's like, for some reason, people are like, you got to, be individual. And I get that. But most people want to find happiness through connection. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Ultimately, people are terrified of rejection. And so the social media, unfortunately, has become this beast of addiction where those dings are providing dopamine and making people feel better about themselves. And what I say is, if you're on social media and you find yourself comparing yourself to others and comparing your life with other people and feeling bad about yourself, get off social media. If you're going on social media to be happy for others, to know that most things that are presented on social media are just a mask and people having a facade of what their life is, and then to just kind of provide useful tools and provide love via your social media, then get back on. But comparison, where progress is happiness, comparison is the death of happiness. The only person that you need to be comparing yourself to is yourself. So are you better today than you are yesterday? And once you start to do that, like, I'm doing the best I can. And as long as I'm doing the best that I can in my life, then I can feel good about me. Right? You're not the same person. You don't need to compare your life. Your journey is different. And as soon as people can really grasp that and know that, then they'll feel better about themselves. Like, okay, well, at least today I'm better than I am yesterday.
Right. And you all can also go to Ty's website as well at tyhunter.com and download a free stress relief hypnosis as well, guys, as well. So go ahead and check that out at tyhunter.com. Ty, I just thank you for really, really sharing that. I think that's powerful because we shouldn't compare, we should connect rather, because we live in a world full of connection as well. So Ty, I wanted to ask you like that message that, maybe a client or student may send to you. When was that time, and how did you, like, when you received that, how did you feel at that time and moment where this person reached out to you and it really touched you in such an extraordinary way. Like I'm sure there been maybe a couple messages or many, but just that one message that you can really, that just brought tears to your eyes instantly.
Oh, there's so many. I mean, the emails that I get are so fulfilling and so beautiful, from like anywhere from like finding love to overcoming addiction,
Okay.
because ultimately, in terms of any problem that's brought to me, whether it be addiction or an eating disorder or not feeling worthy or not finding love, it all has to do with feeling enough. So when someone comes back to me and goes, today I feel good enough, today I feel lovable. And of course, I've gotten the stories of like, I found love.
Right.
I found a healthy love in a relationship. My main thing is just feeling the little moments in the world.
Yes.
Today, I had an email so simple, but this woman was like, today someone told me I was pretty and I believed them.
Yes. What's the woman name?
Well, I can't, there's confidentiality involved.
That's no
So
problem.
unfortunately I can't say her name unless I had asked her prior and released it. But there are testimonials, many testimonials on my websites, kind of talking about their own journey and self-worth.
Okay. That's awesome. Now you said, overcoming addiction and not feeling worthy. Like, how do we help those who just have this addiction to maybe drugs or alcohol, or just this addiction to something that's just not really fulfilling them and just slowing them down each and every day? How do we help them overcome, not overnight, but within time?
So I recently treated a gentleman who had this sex addiction.
Okay.
Um, and this is a very successful gentleman doing very, very well in life, married to a magnificent woman who's smart and beautiful and successful.
Okay.
And he had this compulsion to sleep with other women. Just to complete, and he was like, I need help. I don't want to do this. I have an incredible wife, an incredible life, and I don't want a divorce. I don't want this to come down on me. Why am I doing this? And ultimately it came down to his mother was a monster.
Oh,
She
wow.
was abusive and terrible, and basically made him feel like he was a horrible person and not good enough. And so what ended up coming out of the hypnosis was that he realized that he never felt enough. He never felt good enough for the wife that he has. And so he was self-sabotaging, going out and making it so that he would lose everything because he didn't feel he deserved it. And so that was a beautiful transformation where now, unfortunately, he had obviously cheated on her, but now everyone's redeemable if they seek help, everyone. And he now believes that he deserves it.
Yes.
And now he has an incredible marriage. He's paying attention to her. He no longer feels the urge to sleep with other women. He only wants to sleep with her.
Yes.
And that is a miraculous thing because he's been doing this for years and years and years. There's many, many instances of self-sabotage because you don't feel enough or you don't feel good enough.
Right.
But that in itself, unfortunately, he had a really, really tough, abusive, horrible mother.
Yes.
Who herself had an abusive childhood and then cycled it through.
Right.
But now he has chosen to end the cycle and step up to his life and be the husband that he's meant to be. And that is beautiful.
That is.
I don't know if that answered your question correctly.
No, absolutely it did, because we talked about just now the overcoming addiction. So I was going to say sex too, but I think that's amazing because this is somebody you came across and he was going through this at the moment, but as y'all was continuing to work each other and you put him something through your methods and helping him and conversing with him and not just telling him, but really sharing and listening to what he got to say. Because sometimes we just have to listen to our clients and our students in order to really help them reprogram their thoughts and rethink their decisions before they make it. Because like you say, we can't help somebody that don't want to help themselves. So I think that was powerful, and congratulations to that gentleman as well. And that shows a gentleman that's listening right now that may be in a serious relationship on the verge of getting married. And if you out there, maybe dealing with other women, man, like that should have just helped you just now with Ty just shared, because it's about that one that you see, man. Like honestly, like sometimes we got to put our player ways to the side and really be that punk, as my man ET said, to your woman.
Yeah.
Like you gotta really like, cherish her, like nurture her, honestly, and all that macho ish. Sometimes we gotta take away from that and just hold her, because sometimes she really needed. So, Ty, that was very beautiful. Thank you, thank you. So, Ty, what really keeps you focused, like as you just traveling and workshop at the workshop, like what keeps you mostly focused during these times right now?
I certainly have a morning routine, so meditation is key. I learned that from the spiritual leaders that are out there. Meditation is relatively new to me. It's just I'm a couple years in, and just kind of having that immediately when I wake up. I don't reach for my phone, and I spend about a half an hour, and I do my own little hypnosis, which I make every time I'm working on something. Every 30 days, I make my own little recording for myself.
Okay.
So I definitely practice what I preach. Then I do a little meditation and a little visualization. I am not to the point where I can just sit up and just be silent. I usually use music or something guided. I know that some people can just be with their thoughts. I am not there yet,
Yeah.
but I'm doing it every day and I'm working on it. And then I still don't use my phone. And then I get up and then I write 5 things I'm grateful for. I read 5 things I want to manifest in the month, and then I journal. And then I get my coffee because I do love my Nespresso.
Absolutely. What are 5 things you're grateful for?
5 things I'm grateful for?
Yes.
Today, or
It's
just in general?
Just in general, Ty.
I mean, certainly I'm very grateful and thankful to be alive because it has been quite a battle. I am thankful for my health. Some of the simpler things, I'm thankful for my shelter. I am so thankful for my clients. They teach me something about myself every single day. I continue to learn through them as well. And I'm thankful for running water. These things that I'm thankful for strength and mobility and my mind being clear. It's that kind of stuff to me, because I almost lost my life, is like every day I'm like, I can't believe that I can breathe today. I'm able to walk around. I'm able to have clarity of mind. I'm able to live in a beautiful space. I'm able to learn from people like you and be inspired from people like you and to connect. What a blessing. I mean, it's endless. I can literally go on and on and on.
Right. Indeed.
I'm very, very thankful for this interview and our new friendship. That's so exciting as well.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned, thank you too as well for even sharing that. You mentioned that, you was on the verge of losing your life, but something helped you and gave you the strength to keep going. So for some advice for some, people out there right now that's just on that bed and just ready to really give it up, just really have no control. What are some powerful words you would share from them right now from the heart, Ty? Like to just help them get that strength to just say it's not over yet, and as you say, keep going.
Yeah. Though it feels dark right now and it feels like a complete struggle, your story and that darkness. I mean, when I had my surgery, I lost everything. I thought I was going to be with the man that I was with, I thought I was going to be with forever. I moved out of my home. I started completely over. Health-wise, I had to use a walker. Like everything, completely was taken from under me. And just when you think it's like the darkest time,
Yes.
you have to seek the light, because your story and your journey and your trauma will enlighten someone else, and you will pull someone else from the darkness, and you will show someone else the light. Your story is there to inspire someone somewhere, and that is the best thing that you can possibly do, is give someone else love. You want to get outside yourself, get outside your own struggle and your own self-absorption about your struggle, and realize that someone somewhere needs you to share it so that they too can find hope and love in their struggle.
Ooh, wow, that is so powerful that your story is there to enlighten someone else. And, I just had to like really take notes on that as well, because we got to remind ourselves of that every day. Because some people feel like, just because you're not getting that much recognition or so many people ain't, it comes with time, man. It's about connecting. And sometimes many people not going to reach out to you, but you reach out to them.
Mm.
During that darkest moment, do become light, because that shows a lot about us and how serious we are about our journey and everything of that nature. Like Ty said, she was in a walker, y'all. You gotta really hear her, like, honestly. And she was going through this. And then, and previously before that, she lost a very special person who brought her into this world, and helped her become this woman she is today. And it's like, guys, it's not easy, man. I lost a mother too. And it's like, man,
Mm.
we have to really appreciate and show our gratitude, every day, and thank God just for allowing us to walk, to talk, to converse, to be ourselves, man, and connect. So I think that's very powerful. Honestly, and it touched me, honestly. Being here in Florida and you in Los Angeles, that's is the power of the universe. Honestly. So Ty, I wanted you just to get into the workshops. I know you have an upcoming workshop coming up, so feel free to share about that and where the people can sign up and everything.
Yeah, I'm not sure how fast this will air, but on this Sunday, the 29th in Los Angeles, I'm doing an intimacy workshop, which is ultimately very, very difficult for people, is to feel like they can have human touch and intimacy and really get look into someone's eyes. That's really difficult. So it'll be a workshop in that. And then on November 9th, I am doing a reintegrate, reframe, where I will do a group hypnosis where we silence the inner critic within, and then
Mm,
we install that cheerleader and that self-praise and that self-talk love back into your subconscious. And that will be November 9th. And you can go to at I am Celestival on Instagram to sign up for that.
okay. So the November 9th event, that seems like that's going to be one of the highlight events that's really coming up. Like,
Yes.
so what can, like, I know you can't share too much, but what's just a brief summary? Like, what can the people expect from it? Like, women or so like that may be flying into Los Angeles or maybe local in the area. What can they like expect?
From the group hypnosis?
From this upcoming event, reintegrate or so.
Basically teaching all about the mind, and teaching about how the mind loves the familiar and hates the unfamiliar, and how we reframe our negative thoughts into positive thoughts, and how we do that in the moment.
Guys.
How we are able to get into our subconscious and be aware of the unconscious thoughts that are looping in our mind, and how to reprogram those, and just silencing that inner demon, that inner critic that's constantly incredibly mean to ourselves, and then reinstalling the cheerleader and the coach and the person that you always wanted to be rooting you on. And
Right.
we would get into when that was taken away, and then how we can install that back into ourselves, for ourselves, by ourselves.
Gotcha. That's awesome, guys.
Does that make
Stay
sense?
tuned for yeah, that makes sense. Stay tuned for this upcoming event in Los Angeles, California, with Ty Hunter and some other incredible individuals, guys. Honestly, to silence your inner critique, introduce you to the inner empowering cheerleader to reintegrate and reframe the mind. So stay tuned for that November 9th. I'll also be posting the details as well for the show, where you can follow and support the mission as well. Ty, when there's so many sirens going on, how do we silence the noise?
When there's what? I'm sorry.
When there's so much like sirens going on, how do
Oh,
we
sirens.
silence the noise?
I mean, I'm a big, big, big believer in always listening to your inner guidance and your inner intuition, because we know more than anyone else. Ultimately, we're all healers. Ultimately, we are the masters of our own destinies and our own fate. And when there's a lot of noise, if you quiet yourself within and physically know how you're reacting to things, you can really know just based on your body, does this feel expansive or does this feel contrived? Does this person feel like they're raising my life up and providing growth and providing movement upwards? Or is this person taking from me and repressing me and putting me down? You want to always listen to that inner guidance, because that divine love and that divine intelligence, creator, universe, God, whatever you're calling it, is within us all. And if we just take time to listen and just silence everything outside, just kind of go internal and listen to our physical bodies telling us what's what, we can really, really create the life of our dreams.
It's powerful. I wanted to take some time, Todd, which I do every interview, to show you some gratitude, honestly, for being present, for being here, for sharing about your journey, sharing about when you was at your very lowest point, breaking point of your life where you didn't know what the future may hold, but you kept it all together, and there was something to pick you up from getting from that breaking point to reaching your breakthrough, as you standing to be this lovely, creative, phenomenal, intelligent, transformational woman you are today, transforming so many people's lives. Like now, this to give people also that out of reach of thinking basic about running to hypnotherapists, professionals, and experts about them trying to, take something from them, but actually helping them gain something much more. It's like an investment, and things of that nature. And that's something we have to realize, like things that sometimes society teaches us, we have to deter from that if it's not feeling good and it's not within us, because it's all internal, and push closer to the attraction while we separate from the distraction. So Ty, I wanted to show so much gratitude towards you, honestly. And I'm so happy to be connected, to call you a friend, and looking forward to building something real great in the near present and near future as well, honestly.
Thank you so much. I feel the same for you. I am so, so, so thrilled and just feel so much thanks and blessings to have had this interview and been with you at this time as well.
Absolutely. Ty, I wanted you to take the stairs before we leave today. We have a few more minutes to just share something that you haven't got to share yet, or you haven't got to share in a long time with no interview. Just feel free to just take the lane.
Oh, anything?
Anything you want to share?
Oh gosh. Oh, you know what I get to do every day, which is super cool and I love more than anything, is I literally get to see the light come back into people's eyes.
Yes.
Like my job is to instill love, which is incredible. I
Mm,
mean, it literally, like, people will say, wow, it seems like you you love your job, you're so passionate. And I'm like, I don't think you guys understand. To instill what I never knew to be true, which is self-love, to
mm,
not only be on both sides, be in the dark side where I felt no love for myself, then to get to the other side. And it's a daily practice. It's an everyday thing. You have to work on it. You have to do your meditations. You have to do your affirmations. You have to reframe. And when you're having a bad day, you have to not judge it and accept it and just be like, it's just a bad day.
mm,
It's okay. I'm not perfect and I don't need to be perfect. But to know what it's like to not love myself, then to know what it is to love myself, and then to provide that self-love to others, and to watch that light come in on their faces and their eyes. You can see them age down, just
mm,
lose 10 years after. it's
mm,
it's the most amazing thing in the whole wide world, and I am incredibly passionate about it, and I love it to my core. It's
mm.
exactly what I'm supposed to do on this earth. It is my purpose and my calling, and I am so blessed to have finally found it. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing and a beautiful day every day for me.
Mm.
Sorry, I just got really excited.
No, indeed. No, I love that. I love when you so much in depth, because that show the emotion. Like I say all the time, there's strength and vulnerability in expressing that very true you, honestly. So, for those that's tuned in, as you hear, Ty really expressed that passion, that gives you guys the strength and pushes you to also just share your passion, and, knowing that this doesn't happen overnight, but with the events that we face in life, and we have no control, but we do have control up here.
Mm.
It just
Mm-hmm.
guides us to become more powerful individuals. So, just to see Ty just now, because, this is a video conference. So it's like, we get to see the connection. We get to see the emotion. We get to see the tears. We get to see the smiles. And that's what I love about the space, honestly, because it helps us continue to age down, even when we become older, honestly, so I think it's powerful. Like just seeing Ty smile makes me smile. So it's like, your energy attracts, others, man. Your vibe attracts your tribe, honestly.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's such a good saying.
I was I see that, you have a strong connection with some strong individuals that's in these different powerful spaces. So just what's something that you've learned from like just being around people like Ricky Mendez, Marissa Peer, Tom Blue, and Lisa Blue. Like those four individuals. I see y'all was all in the picture together, and I see it's very genuine and that you all have a strong connection. So if you can share that with the audience or so, that'd be awesome.
It's interesting. I I realized kind of early on when you start to raise your vibration, you start to rise up, it can be lonely because you start to realize that the friendships that you had are not good for you. And so I think that's, and Lisa Nichols says that as well. Lisa Nichols is like, when you start to rise to the top, it can be very, very lonely because you're realizing like the people that were in my life were not good for me.
Mm.
For example, I realized that a lot of my girlfriends, and this is kind of something that's been ingrained in society and definitely in females, that this gossip, this need to talk badly about others to make yourself feel better. I realized when I was starting to rise and get better and better and love myself, I did not want to talk badly about anyone, but my girlfriend still wanted to. And I had to start to separate myself from these friendships because unless they were going to rise with me, I don't want to gossip and I don't want to say bad things about other people, certainly not about our other friends. That's crazy if you think about it, but it's just something that's accepted among our society because when we do that, we tend to, when we pull others down, that can tend to make us feel superficially and for just a moment, but superficially feel better about ourselves.
Right.
And so it was lonely at first, and that will happen when you start to have people trickle off that you know are not good for you and toxic for you. And then as soon as that happens and you start to take away people, you can start to take in the people that are positive and enlightening and boost you up and bring you up. And that's when those people come into your life, like Ricky and Marissa and Tom and Lisa. I mean, that's when those people are accessible to you, is because you've chosen and made the choice to be better, and therefore you bring in better.
So what's some advice you've learned from each and every last one of them? You can be in depth or you can just keep it nice and simple. However way you want. This is your show right now.
The advice is just really just be who you are. That vulnerability is a strength. For me growing up, vulnerability was not, it was something that was not a strength. I grew up in a really perfectionistic family, and there's no such thing as perfect.
Right.
And it's okay to show your weaknesses, and it's okay to shine your light. And that if people don't want you to shine your light, they're not for you.
Yeah.
You keep going and you keep shining, and the people that are shining with you will walk alongside of you. No one's better than anyone else. Just as if like Marissa Peer and Tom have come through this journey and are showing us that the light is the way, and that they're inspiring us.
Yes.
But they've never ever, like, I've never been in their presence and they've treated me less than.
Yes.
They treat me as an equal.
Yes.
And that is the sign of a true leader. A leader is someone who says, you are in your journey and you are part of my journey, and I embrace you just as you are, where you are, showing up today, who you are today. And that is a gift. That's a true gift, and that's a true leader. And those are the people you always want to surround yourself with. The person that embrace you for who you are today, not tomorrow, not your past. Just allow you to be where you are in the present moment.
I
That's a
love that.
beautiful thing.
It is. It is. I love that. Felt that too, honestly. And shout out to all those too. That's really a part of your journey, and you guys will continue to grow together. Honestly, I just think that's a big part, and some people have to know you're never on this journey alone, even when you feel like it. So,
Oh, I
as
love that.
yeah, So my last question for the day: what do you mostly, Ty Hunter, when it's all said and done, want to be remembered for?
You know how this is going to sound so odd. I was thinking about this morning. I was reading Think and Grow Rich, and as many of your listeners and you as well, I'm sure, are very familiar with that book. There was something in there about how the whole Henry Ford he created the car because his ultimate goal was he wanted people to be able to get to places faster and see their loved ones faster. And I thought to myself, it's so crazy. Like Bill Gates created the computer because his goal was that people were able to communicate all over the world. Now, this is very obscure and kind of out there, what I'm talking about right now in terms of myself. But I thought to myself this morning,
Mhm.
the car and the computer did not exist,
Mm,
which is we see it as it is today. And we're like, we just accept it. Like it exists. It's a real thing.
mhm,
My ultimate goal is to provide and instill this self-love. And I'm like, what is it? Because like Bill Gates wanted communication via internationally, people to be able to connect internationally at really, really fast, at the fastest
mhm,
level. My ultimate goal is to instill self-love, and I don't know how that's going to come to fruition. I don't like a car, a computer, but I do know that
mhm.
it's possible.
Yes.
So my ultimate goal is to provide people to know and have the tools to really instill true self-love.
Mm.
That probably made no sense because it's like literally a thought that I had this morning, but it's not well thought out yet, obviously. But I do know that what I want people to always leave my hypnosis sessions with is
Yes.
feeling like they are the best gift in the whole wide world, that love is their birthright, and that their divine right is love and self-love, and then providing love to others.
Mm. That's powerful. It made a lot of sense, honestly. And, for real, I love that, those people, those greats, they left something behind great. And, you just declared it as well when it's all said and done and everything of that nature. But right now, Ty's going to continue to keep evolving and helping people dissolve all those negative thoughts, limited beliefs, and things that's not meant for us, that's unhealthy for us. So, Ty, I really thank you so much for your time today. You're phenomenal. Ricky said,
You
man,
are too.
she's the one. She's going to set it on fire. I had such a phenomenal time with you. Honestly, from our conversation about a week or two ago to now, just continue to evolve the relationship, honestly. And you share so many tips and tools that's going to help so many people take some thought into and like, man, I didn't know that. Let me take these notes and let me implement.
Oh, I hope so.
Honestly, let me share with a friend, let me push forward. Let me reach out to Ty for some help, for some guidance. Let me tell her thank you. Let me ask her for some advice, for some coaching. If I see her in Los Angeles, let me even buy her an ice cream or so, or let me,
Yeah.
just to show. And she'd probably be like, what is this? And it's like, hey, I listened to your interview on the Inspire Before You Expire with Rel, and I thought it was very intriguing. It brought some light my way when I was going through my darkest moment. Ty, I can keep going and going, but this is not my moment. This is your moment. This is our moment. And I thank you. Honestly, this is powerful to us. So before we leave, I just want you to leave your social media, everything you want the people to get touch on, and we'll get right out of here.
Yes. I am at Tyler Hunter on Instagram. So it's TYELERHUNTER. It's a Tyler with an E. So Tyler Hunter, at Tyler Hunter. My website is launching at the end of the month. So www.TYEHunter.com. I do international Zoom, Skype sessions. So I have a vast variety of clients. So I'm not just in the Los Angeles area. I'm also an international hypnotist.
I love
Um, and I'm on Marissa Peer's team, so I will train other people to become RTT therapists as well. And we will shout out our message to the world and instill I Am Enough, which is Marissa's movement. I Am Enough by marissapeer.com. And my own message, which is just love yourself, because when you love yourself, you can love others as well. And I definitely say change your beliefs, change your life.
Ooh, there it is. I love that. Change your beliefs, change your life. My laptop almost fell, but we still, you know, honestly, I love that. Ty, you're amazing. Much
You as well.
you. And guys that's tuned in, thank you all for your time. Honestly, Ty, thank you. I am Terrell Sumter. That's the one and only Ty Hunter. Connect with her. She's the real deal. Like she says, she's not just national, but she's international as well. So she's connected with people across the states, overseas, you name it. This is the Inspire Before We Expire, and we're out. Woo! There it is.